Hello, my name is Giselle Monbiot. I'm a behaviour and wellbeing specialist. And today I'm going to be teaching you a really useful technique that you can do at any time, if you're sitting at your desk, whether you're at home, or even with a group of people. When we feel stressed or anxious or worried, quite often what we are doing, we are projecting into the future a worst case scenario. So something happens and we immediately start catastrophizing and thinking of the worst possible thing that can happen. This in turn then starts putting us into the anxious response, flushing adrenaline into the system, which then makes it much harder to rationally think and to problem solve through a situation. And then what can happen, it can sort of loop out of control. You start getting more and more adrenaline flushing through the system. You can become more and more anxious. Your thoughts can start ruminating more and more around you in your head. And it's quite hard to grab reality at that particular time. So I'm going to teach a really good, useful technique which can help you be able to claw yourself back from that. And the more you do it, the easier and the quicker it will become, and it'll even become second nature to you. So it's about the three possibilities. So just quickly, I'm just going to just let you know. So when you are thinking about the worst case scenario, what you're doing is you are going into your limbic system, into your sort of oldest part of your brain, which is all about the emotional response. It's all about trying to protect yourself from threat. And then when you're in that threat system, it's very hard to think rationally. It's very hard to problem solve. It's very hard to get a control over the emotions that you're feeling. Now, in regards to any possibilities with the situation, there are always a number of possibilities which can happen. And of course, that worst case scenario could happen. That is a possibility. But if you actually think past throughout your life, that worst case scenario, if you really, really think about it and you're honest with yourself, it's very rare. It's a very rare occurrence that worst case situation actually happens. So when you catch yourself doing that ruminating, you catch yourself thinking of that catastrophizing, just take a moment, have a bit of a laugh to yourself, think, aha, I've caught myself there. And then you can think to yourself, okay, that is a possibility. But I wonder, could I think of 3 other possibilities that might come out of this particular event or occasion? Just by starting to think those questions, just by starting to be curious, what naturally happens is you start engaging this part of the brain, your frontal lobe. And that's the part of emotional regulation. That's the part for problem solving. That's the part for being more rational. So you can then start to think, okay, what other possibilities could there be? And you start to realise that your brain can start backing away from that catastrophizing and start being more creative and thinking about other possibilities that there are. What it also does is it shows your brain that one situation that you were focusing on isn't the only one, and you start to be able to think more rationally and be able to problem solve through the situation. So it's not about trying to pretend that worst case scenario wouldn't happen. It's just about acknowledging, recognizing, and also thinking about other possibilities that might happen. And that enables you to be able to think of a broader, wider selection of what it is that you can do in any situation, which can be very helpful and very beneficial. And this can happen very quickly. So good luck with that. Make sure that you keep practicing it. Maybe if you are somebody who is prone to worst case scenario thinking, then start with the little things. Start with a little situation in which you can think of that worst case, of which you're sort of thinking of that worst case scenario, and then think of those 3 possibilities. And as you become more practiced with this and more comfortable with the exercise, you can then start building it up to bigger events within your life. I'd love to know how you get on, so please let me know. Thanks, bye.